When I started my saltwater angling journey, I had tackle and gear, but it was all the wrong stuff. The wrong rods and reels, the wrong sinkers, the wrong line, even the hooks I used were leftovers from my dad's old carp tackle box that I inherited back in 2011 after his passing. I have been hooked on the sport for almost 1 year exactly. I know this because I got my angling license on 17 July 2024, 2 days before I threw my first line into the ocean at Melkbos and watched in frustration as every cast washed up on the beach. This journey allowed me to visit places I haven't heard of, like Jonsfontein. Then I visited places I have heard of but never set foot in, like Struisbaai, Agulhas, Stilbaai, Veldrift, to name a few. The place Smitty and I are about to visit I have seen before, but that was at a different time in my life when angling was not on my mind, and most fishing involved nothing more than throwing a bread and egg bait into a flat murky body of water to attempt to catch carp. Smitty put this place on my radar, and it was my duty to ensure that we come here together as new friends and see what fishy treasures this place may hold. Before setting off, I kind of knew what the place looked like. My mistake was never looking at this place from the perspective as a nature lover and a fish fiend. Behold. Before we got to Cape Point Nature Reserve, we've done some homework. There seemed to be a wide variety of spots you could theoretically visit, but not all would suit an old, overweight bloke like me. Rooikrans, for instance, looked like a great spot for hotties and Red Roman, but it requires a reasonably strenuous hike to get to, and it is quite dangerous in general, with plenty of visitors and anglers who have lost their lives there. So, I narrowed down our potential spots to 4. The first of which was Diaz Beach. Rumour had it that the place has all manner of fishing treasure that just loves to munch on white mussel. The problem? The spot we needed to get to was inaccessible from the beach itself. To get there required a different route, but with cell phone signal being tricky at the best of times, we could not just fire up Google Maps and trace a new route to our destination. So we decided to target the rocks close to Maclear Beach for Galjoen and Hottentot.
Right, we made it to the west coast of South Africa, Cape Town, less than a kilometer away from the east coast. We're in Cape Point, as you would have seen now. Water's looking quite choppy, but if there's no fish in this water, I'm going to be seriously surprised. So let's hold thumbs, boys. I'm going to make my first cast now. So the water's quite rough out there. I've had the odd bump so far, but I can't really say if it's a fish or if it's just the current knocking your sinker around a bit. Nothing got stuck yet, except on the retrieve, which caused me to have to come down this rocky embankment to come loosen the sinker. And now I'm just staying down here, obviously monitoring the water to make sure that I don't get washed off the rocks. It is starting to push in a bit, so I'm going to give it about 20 minutes or so, and then I'm going to make my way further up. But for now, I'm more than willing to just stick it out over here, have a look and see what happens with regards to any bites and stuff that might be in this water. It's a spectacular place though. Holy smokes, people. It's an amazing spot. And over there's a Smitty on the rock. Don't know if he's had any bites yet, but we'll see. Some amazing water over here. Let's quickly make our way over to where Smitty is. Find out what his action looks like. Smitty, you like it? Go escape! Yeah, I think it might be time for a move. We're not going to be stationary for too long today, boys. We're going to try and find the fish. There's plenty of spots around this area that we can go try. We're really trying to get to Diaz Point, but Diaz Point seems to be like the kind of place where you need to go around the ledges, which only really seems feasible if you're a young man. We're not young anymore. And we have families at home. So yeah, gonna make our move and see what we can find. Maybe we can even try a spot in the Indian Ocean, False Bay, to go fish. It's literally just a kilometer that way. To Biff's Bay. Quite windy, wind's in our face, and there's a little beach over here that we can quickly throw the line in. Like I said, we're not going to stick around for too long. We're just going to try and make it work over here. If it doesn't, we'll go to Platboom Beach. There's so many spots around this area that you can fish. Why limit yourself to one? And everything is in such close proximity to each other. So when it's all done, so I'm going to try and get it in behind those. I want to try and get it in behind those breakers you see over there, which means I'm going to walk in about knee high and into the wind cast as deep as I can in behind the breakers and just hope for the best. Because it doesn't look like there's too many gutters right in front of you that fish could be in, so you're hoping that they might be feeding behind it. And there is kelp on the right, so you might catch the odd straggler that is swimming between the kelp going into open water. You might be catching them. So I know where I want to throw my line. Hold thumbs. little boy back. Maybe one day he'll pop up in Makassar or Strandfontein. Go lad! Go, 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 go! Man, I'm so stoked. It's not a big fish, but it's so nice to actually get one after blanking for a few weeks and just losing tackle. It's amazing. And to come out to a special place like this and actually catch something like that, it's awesome. And being able to put it back as well, that small little fish, let it go big. It feels in place, considering that we are fishing in a reserve. That was bloody awesome. Man, that little fish just made this entire trip worthwhile. That's crazy. Not that the trip wasn't worthwhile already. I mean, the scenery around this place is phenomenal. Oh, and there's more bites on the line already. I need to go. Okay, we're gonna make a spot move. We're gonna make a desperate effort to try and get in at that Diaz Point fishing spot. We're in the mood to go target some maybe Galjoen if we're lucky, maybe some Hottentot. And for that we're gonna take a whole lot of mussel and red bait with, and some tackle. So we're gonna have to carry a bit of a load to get there, and it's not gonna be easy to get there, but I think it might be worthwhile. Stand by.
You are my sunshine. I want the world to know you are my sunshine. You are my sunshine. I want the world to know you are my sunshine.
Looks like the they ripped. We stood at the top for a little bit, boys, and then we looked to see what structure we could find in the water that we can maybe target. And there's this massive rip current that looks like it could hold some treasure. Now I'm hoping we didn't look wrong, because I don't see any of the other fishermen that is in this area targeting this thing. But call me a rebel if nothing else. I'm gonna try my damnedest to make it work. There's a huge rip current not too far from here, like maybe another 30 meters in front of us towards the right. I'll bring you back when you can see it. Second cast. Baby Galjoentjie. Hey. We now need to get him back. I'll tell you the whole story about this boy once he's back. I don't want him to die. As promised, here's the story of that galjoen. Second cast, mussel. I felt the pegs. I released the sinker. I basically made sure that at the moment that I feel pegs again, I start reeling. The bugger was on. And then within about 5 or 6 twists of the of my reel handle, I felt something extremely heavy on the other side. And there's a lot of kelp in the water, so I thought, oh well, that must be kelp. So it almost felt like I was fighting a shark. Turns out by the time that I got the kelp out, the fish was still on. So that was a bonus. This is actually incredible. We're now on Platform Beach, and we have been for about an hour or so. The weird thing is, this is the Atlantic Ocean. And before this, 10 minutes before that, we were fishing in the Indian Ocean.
After a very enjoyable day, it was time to either pack up and go home, or inspect Diaz Point again and see if we didn't miss an entrance to the area we wanted to be in earlier. We later saw that you need to enter the area from the restaurant's end via a footpath hike down to the water. On our return from the area, we were left dumbstruck at the size of the waves the Atlantic Ocean was kicking up. When we finally picked up our jaws from the floor, we headed back. But not before spotting a turnoff we haven't noticed before. It was a dead end for fishing, but as far as eye candy goes, wow. Our drive home was weird. We just spent the day in a place where you hardly saw many people in close proximity to you. And to then sit in bumper-to-bumper traffic through Simonstown and beyond felt surreal. We got home, unpacked and said our goodbyes. The day in its entirety exceeded my expectations by a country mile. It's a pity Smitty didn't catch anything. It was not for a lack of trying though. Next time, my friend. Next time you'll get him. Thanks for watching, people. Until next time.